All right, so let me show you the graph of my Twitter data. So we can see here we have a user that sent out a single tweet, and that single tweet contains the hashtag of AI and also was posted in New York. So if we double click this single node, we are able to read the properties like when the tweet is being posted, the number of replies, retweets, and also content of this single tweet. And what is more powerful is that so we can also expand those networks. So for example, if we double click this user, and we can go to the neighbors. So those are all the other tweets that this single user being sent out. If we want to include those tweets in this graph, we can go here and we can just click expand. And now we can see we find out all the other tweets that this user being sent out, and we can continue expanding and also just add more information to our graph. All right, so what is really more powerful is that so instead of manually expanding this graph, we can actually use a natural language query. Here, we want to find out all the users that in United States. So we send out this query to our database, and now we run this query. So we can see here, we just find out all the users that send out tweets in those cities in United States. So we can say one city is San Francisco, and also another city is in New York. All right, so the beauty of this graph database is that we can essentially expand our data manually, or we can talk to our data using natural language logic. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this from scratch. So we will generate the data, set up the database, and get it all running so you can start exploring your own data just like this. So let's get started. Here I am using a free account where you can define different organizations, and within each organization, you are able to create different projects. So this is much like the MongoDB, and you can also create the instance in each project. Here I'm going to create an instance, and I will choose free. There are some limitations, so you can create up to 200,000 nodes and also 400,000 relationships, which is enough in this tutorial. And we can give it an instance name, so just call it instance, and I will just go ahead and create the instance. And now you can see we have the username and also our password. You can just copy the password, or you can download the credentials to your local file. I'll go ahead and download and continue. Okay, so in this downloaded TXT file that contains those credentials, to connect this instance in Python, what you need is the URI, the username, if you are using different username, and also password. While our instance is being created, you can see that we have several data services, for example, the Graph Analytics and also Data API. I believe those two services are only available for the paid instance. We also have the agents, which is in the preview, that allow you to create agent-based knowledge graph. So I'm excited about this feature. And in the tools, so once you have the instance, you're able to import data directly into your instance. So I think right now they support the structured data. This is where you're going to do the queries. So for the Neo4j, so they support the Cypher query. This is explore tools. So that's one that I showed earlier. Once we have the data that is uploaded to the instance, we are able to visually export the data. And this is a dashboard. We are able to create interactive dashboard on the Neo4j website as well. All right, so now you can see the instance is ready. So here we have a few options. So if you click the inspect, you will be able to view the credentials. That's the same thing that you downloaded in the TXT files. You're able to create a backup, and you're able to restore data from your previous backups. And also, I really like this feature. You can just reset your instance to blank so that you have an empty database, and you can just insert new data. All right, so since our instance is ready, let's go to our Python code. So this is the code that we're going to use today. You can just find this code from our LP Social GitHub, and you can just open it in the Colab, which I highly recommend. So I'm going to open that one in my Colab. And the first thing you need to do is that you need to provide your credentials. So here, we're going to store your URI in Google Colab, and also you need to store the password. We assume that you are using the default username, which is Neo4j. So let's create our first secret, which I'll call it URI. And then you can copy the value of the URI from the text file that you downloaded. And next, we're going to create the password. And that's also the password in the text file that you downloaded. Okay, great. We're also going to give access to this notebook so that this Python notebook is able to connect to the Neo4j instance. Great. So now let's start from beginning. So in this Python notebook, we need two libraries. The first one is Neo4j, that is, connect to our graph database. And the second one is called Faker. So the Faker will generate some realistic dummy data. So that is similar to the Twitter data. If you have your own Twitter data, and you can feel free to use your own Twitter data. And if you don't have Twitter data, we know that API is now pretty expensive. You can just use our Python code to generate some synthetic Twitter data. All right, so let's get started. So first, we need to pip install those Python libraries. And then next, we're going to generate our dummy Twitter data. So this is a tweet data structure, so which is a simplified data structure. We have the tweet that has a unique tweet ID. It has a text. We also generate that date and time that when the tweet is being created, and also ID. We also have additional 4 pieces of the information. So we have the user information, which include the username and also some metrics of this user, like the number of the followers and the followings. We also attach the place information. So we assume that each single tweet has a location that is being associated that contains the file name, the country code, and also the centroid of that city. We also have entities. So here we just only contain the hashtag entities. We know that in the real tweet data, we have images, we have URLs, we also have the mentioned users. But here, to simplify it, we just use the hashtag. And also we assume that each single tweet has a geolocation, so that is exact where the tweet is being sent out. That contains the latitude and the longitude. So here I'm going to generate those dummy data. So we're going to use Faker to create those tweets. All right, so we created about 100 tweets, and let's just look at the first one. So that is how the tweet look like. So we have ID, text. When the tweet is being created, we have the public matrices. This single tweet, it has 2 hashtags. We also have the coordinates, the place information, and also user information. Okay, so that's very nice. Next, we're going to connect to our Neo4j instance. So just make sure that your instance is running, and also you provided the URI and also password, and you give access to this notebook. All right, so let's pass our credentials. And now let's test this connection. Okay, so it is success. So next, we're going to insert the JSON documents into our graph database. We're going to build those 4 types of the nodes. For the relationships, the tweets can be located at a place. The tweets also contain a specific hashtag, and also the tweet was posted by a tweet user. So that is our structure of this network. So here we're going to using the sci-fi code to build those relationships. Basically, we're going to unwind all the JSON document into separate rows, and for those user, hashtag, and also place nodes, we're going to use merge. So merge will make sure that if we have the same users, hashtags, and we're not going to create duplicates. For tweets, because each single tweet will be unique, so we just simply use this create function and just create those tweet nodes. And then we just define the relationships. So we connect those different entities as shown in this diagram. All right, so let's just run this code. And now we can see it is success. So all the properties are now in the graph. So now let's go back to our instance. Let's go to the explore, and we say connect to the instance. And here we only have one instance, that is our demo free instance. Okay, here you can just show me a graph which just returns some random nodes and also relationships. All right, and we can see that here we have those 4 types of nodes. We can give them different colors, places. I will give it a blue color, and for the tweets, I will give it a yellow color. Okay, and here we can see that is the user that sent out this single tweet. And if we double click, we'll be able to read the properties of that tweet. And also we can see this tweet is posted at San Francisco. It also contains 2 hashtags. So one is AI and also another one is Neo4j. And you can just clear all your nodes from the current graph. So just make sure you clear that. Do not use delete. So here I just use the dismiss, which means that just clear everything from my current graph. You can use the natural language queries. So here, let's say we want to find out, show me all the places. So we click and AI will convert this one into a query language. And now we can see we have those 5 places. And if you click one, you'll be able to see that country, name, and also you can just go to expand. And now you can see that all the tweets that are posted at this location. If you go to select a single tweet, double click, you'll be able to view those information. And also, of course, you can continue expand. So we can see that this tweet was posted by this person, contain this hashtag. We can also do a little bit complicated queries. So let's say remove all the nodes. So dismiss, show me the users that posted hashtag of Python. Okay, so now we have this query. So we can see that first we identify the hashtag, and then we go back, find out all the tweets that contain this hashtag, and then we go back to all the users that posted those tweets. And now you can see here, we have this hashtag, and also we have those tweets, and also we have the users that send out those hashtags. We can also even change the layout, can choose that one to circular, where you can put the hashtag in the middle and also drag the users into different locations. You can also export the current view as CSV files and also export the screenshot, etc. Okay, you can also save the current query as perspectives. So if you click the perspectives, you can see this one has been saved here. You can also go ahead and create new ones, like say generate new perspectives or start from scratch. And just like that, so we have gone from an empty project to a fully connected knowledge graph. To recap, we just set up a free cloud instance. We use Python to generate data. We also ingest everything into Neo4j to build a network we saw at the beginning. So now, instead of staring at rows of data, you have a living graph that you can interact with, explore, and analyze just by following the connections. So I put all the code from this video in the GitHub repository linked below so that you can try it yourself.